Hi, I'm Soda Man. I have been making Pizza Tower related projects for, I want to say, about half a decade now. And I wanted to make a little video talking about one of the first and probably one of the most important pieces of what I believe to be Pizza Tower fan content, which is Pizza Tower Demo 3. This is kind of like the primordial soup that I think a lot of Pizza Tower projects kind of stem from. Sugary Spire, which is my project, kind of shares some DNA with Demo 3. So does Scout to Go versions 1 and 2, I would argue. Demo 3 is really interesting to me because I'm good friends with Mr. Unknown. I've known him for about 5 years, and he told me this story of how he originally made it just so he could have every Pizza Tower level in one EXE and not have to boot up all the other demos just to go back to them. So that's kind of what started it off. And then over time, it just kind of became a bigger project. There's two versions of it I'm going to be playing. One of them is the classic version of Demo 3 that I think a lot of older Pizza Tower fans might remember. I'm going to be playing the newer version that wound up getting canceled around 2022. The one and the only Pizza Tower Demo 3. I played this years ago when I was younger. Loved it. So much so I reached out to Mr. Unknown, and he actually gave me the opportunity to work on the project, which was really cool to me at the time because I was a very amateur Pizza Tower modder. This was considered like the cream of the crop at the time. This was like the best Pizza Tower project in 2020. If you asked Mr. Unknown about it, he'd say no, but I always considered this to be one of my favorites. It's like a really weirdly polished version of older Pizza Tower, because it went from just being, oh, we're gonna put all the Pizza Tower levels into one folder, to restoring all the older levels before the stage demo of Pizza Tower came out, for like around the Golf era of Pizza Tower, which was about a year before. So this has every single original World 1 Pizza Tower plus a lot of extra ones. It also has that weird parry where you send enemies flying. I think the one thing I ever voted for, it wasn't this version of Demo 3, it was the newer version that I'm going to be playing later, was the save file system. A really shitty bare bones file system. This is one of those older Pizza Tower projects that I really did enjoy when I was younger. I'm rambling a lot now, but this project was something very unique. I would argue for its time. Mr. Unknown knew a lot of programming stuff that a lot of other people did not. So a lot of what you see here, like the cool effects or this weird parry that I keep mentioning, I didn't even know how to do that. So when this mod came out, it was around what I called, and a few other people called, Pizza Tower's Jay Leno era. And that was a time where the game was changing a lot, and McCabe had introduced the heat meter, and a lot of people hated it. I remember people basically saying stuff, this isn't my Pizza Tower, and all the game sucks now. So a lot of people turned to mods. And since Demo 3 was one of the most widely known ones, we asked a lot of people back in 2020, 2021, I think, even around the time Pizza Tower's April build came out, they would straight up look you in the face and they'd say, oh, Demo 3 is better than Pizza Tower, and they should just make it Demo 3, which is really funny looking back on it. So Mr. Unknown, actually, I think he might have still been in high school when he was working on this. I'd have to ask him. But now he's, I think, 3 years into college. When I first met Mr. Unknown, I had to be like 12, 13. And I don't know why he trusted some random kid to work on Demo 3, but I guess that's just kind of how it was back in the early 2000s. Everyone kind of knew each other. So there was like the main Pizza Tower Discord, there was a few other servers, and there was like the Demo 3 server. I think this level design is from, I think it's called Public, and it's recreated. One of the funniest things about Demo 3 is that Mr. Unknown did not have Patreon. Back then, you had to, and everyone knows Pizza Tower had a Patreon, but you can get like a little ticket for it basically in the Pizza Tower Discord. Every month you had to submit proof that you had it. And Demo 3 was one of the mods you could only get if you were a Patreon. With a huge trust wall system that basically every Pizza Tower model item. Despite Mr. Unknown not being a Pizza Tower Patreon, he had to mark Demo 3 as Patreon only because it contained Patreon content, which consisted of all those old levels. I don't think there's any use in replaying some of the original few. I might, but I want to show all the weirder shit. There's, of course, all the old palettes at the time. Stuff like this was really funny, too. Obviously, there's Noise. Snick. Vigilante, who was also, I believe, entirely recreated. It's so weird. Because he wasn't lifted from the old Patreon content builds, he was just kind of made. I think all the sprites were taken from the old Pizza Tower wiki. Also Snick. I never liked Snick. I think a lot of people want to bring back Snick and I never get it. This is the main thing of Demo 3. This is what everyone remembers. All the old levels. I'm gonna play Mansion. This is what I remember. This is like what I remember being really cool to me. I couldn't believe that Pizza Tower had more levels in the files, and then I saw this and I'm like, hey. Even the level design isn't even meant for this version of Pepino. That's really funny looking back at it because Pizza Tower's old level design wasn't that great. A lot of this stuff is broken in the old Pizza Tower files, so what people had to do was they had to spend like a while recoding everything to make sure that it worked. I remember doing this myself because I worked on similar projects. A lot of Pizza Tower projects at the time did the same thing that Demo 3 did, where they just brought back the old levels and then added noise or something. I guess this kind of became the staple or like the cookie cutter kind of formula for old Pizza Tower mods. My friend Hyper10, actually, before Pizza Tower Demo 3, they made the first Pizza Tower mod, called Pizza Tower Recooked. I don't know if they still have it, I'd have to ask them. But that mod tried the same thing, it tried to bring back the old levels and the ancient Noise Crusher boss. And it was basically the same idea. Hyper10 went on later to actually help on a bunch of other different Pizza Tower projects. They voiced Sweet Painter in Sugar's Butter Exhibition, which was very nice of them. They're very talented. And this was like the best shit ever when I was like 12 years old. So many people would just tell you to play Demo 3. When you got Patreon, I think the first thing most people would do is they would run to the Demo 3 server and submit their ticket, which would sometimes take hours. In the Demo 3 server, it had the same system, but since it was all trust and based on real people, there was no like top and bot or whatever, like robot. You had to put it in a channel and you could wait until a moderator woke up, and then they would give you the role. The Demo 3 also had that system, and I remember people waiting hours. And I think one of the things people would do, because I was one of the people who had, like, I worked on Demo 3, one early version of it. I was one of those people, so you'd just be chilling in a friend server or something. They'd be like, oh, I'm gonna verify those guys in Demo 3. It's like in Better Call Saul when Saul has to get the fucking parking tickets from Mike. Oh shit, the Peppermint chase. I'm so bad at this. He rubber bands to your speed, like, extremely fast. Again, this was, like, really cool half a decade ago. Damn it. It's gonna take me a minute to get this down. I'm really rusty at this. One of the biggest debates I remember in early Pizza Tower modding, and I think it still is following the release of the game, was the ability to parry Pizza Face. And I remember Mr. Unknown had added it into Demo 3. And then he later, I think this is probably during the second iteration of Demo 3 that I'll play later. He became a playtester for Pizza Tower. I would like to think it's because he made Demo 3. I'm not really sure exactly what. But I remember he told me once that he saw the people who made Pizza Tower, McKagan started talking about if they should allow Pepino to parry Pizza Face or not, because they had seen Demo 3. That was always really funny to me, because that's how small the community was back then. I think parrying Pizza Face, as far as I'm aware of, is actually still an ongoing debate. I know people make mods where you have to, like, do multiple laps against Pizza Face or whatever. I'm not sure if you can parry him in those, but maybe you shouldn't. I think my personal take should be able to parry Pizza Face. God damn it. Alright, I actually did it. I finally beat the Peppermint chase. The trick for it is to not hold in Mach 3, because McPig usually doesn't do that when playing Pizza Tower, for some reason. Oh, the grease ball rooms. I don't know why every old Pizza Tower level had grease ball in it for some reason. I feel like I also ever seen a lot of Pizza Tower mods that tried to do golf. A lot of Pizza Tower mods had a golf level in them. What eventually became Pizza Tower Plus, which I think at the time was called Pizza Tower Deluxe or something, had a golf level in it too. I remember that being released. I don't know why the golf stuff is like so nice here. Mr. Known's, I think, always known for his polishing when it comes to programming stuff. Since he does a lot of that work on Sugary Spire, there will be times where he'll code something in randomly. I think I've talked about this before in the Sugary Spire Discord. And I won't know, or anyone on the team won't know until he, like, shows us. And sometimes it's really cool, and it's worth keeping, and sometimes we're like, yeah, you just gotta get rid of it. I think his thing's always kind of just been really nice polish. A lot of this video was just me being bad at Pizza Tower, even though I played it for half a decade, but it's alright. Wow, I'm bad. Okay, there we go, finally. And the little pizza portal comes down in the golf demo. Basically every old Pizza Tower level from Demo 3 is just fixed up golf build stuff. Oh, this. In old Pizza Tower in golf, you would get the treasure and the escape sequence would start, but I guess we just didn't have the technology for it here. Every mod wanted to be Demo 3, and that was really funny because Demo 3 was just Pizza Tower. Again. And anyone could restore the old levels if you spent like 30 minutes in Game Maker fiddling with variables. That's actually how I learned to do Game Maker programming, was by trying to restore these ancient-ass levels myself. I think I'm gonna play the freezer level now, and then I'll cut to the newer Demo 3. This was my favorite of the old levels. I don't know why. I always liked Don't Preheat Your Oven. I remember years ago, I worked on an old Pizza Tower mod and I was restoring Freezer. I had my friend, Terracotta. They do music for Sugary Spire and for Scout to Go V2. And they made a really ancient Freezer escape theme. If I could still find it, I'll probably play it over some of this footage or later in the video. Or I'll just link it in the description. I think it might be a SoundCloud link somewhere. I probably played this level tens of times. I remember speedrunning it when I was younger. I don't even know why. I guess I just liked it. It's interesting to see how much these levels kind of went from being basically just kind of ideas or like abstract things with a skin over them to eventually having actual gimmicks in the final game of Pizza Tower. With Pizza Tower, it's really cool to see how it's evolved. I think the modding scene also shows that too. You kind of see how all these different people interpreted the old content at the time and what they did with it, and kind of how that's changed over the years as well. I didn't remember this background either. I have to ask Mr. Unown if this was... I think this is fan-made? I think Unown made this? Unown does also do occasional background work for Sugary Spire. Very, very occasionally. He made one of the Mines backgrounds in the exhibition right there. I don't even remember where this came from. Oh my god, this escape theme. This isn't... Okay, this is the one I'm thinking of. I remember Noise had a really old escape theme called Pesto Anchovy, and that was what it was for a long time around like the golf demo. And then McPig released a build of Pizza Tower where the Noise was playable. A lot of people for some reason did not like the new Noise escape theme. I don't know why. They preferred Pesto Anchovy, which was like a remix of a Beethoven song. Yeah, that's the old Demo 3. Time to move on to the new Demo 3. Now this is the Demo 3. This is the second version of it. It's way nicer than the first one. Man, it had some online thing. I think I helped code the save file system for this, but Unown definitely rewrote it. This is the version that I worked on anyways. Man. This had a lot more content than the original Demo 3. It has hats, it has more characters, all sorts of stuff. I think it has a debug console, it has multiplayer, I think it's like J or P or something that turns that on. And it has this! That has the custom palette system. I think a lot of other Pizza Tower mods have also done something similar. I think a lot of other people might also have also tried making their own custom palette systems, but this is like one of the first. I remember thinking it was really cool when I was younger. This is an awful palette. Well, oh, does noise not? Oh, you have to change colors for noise. This was like revolutionary too. You can use your mouse to move all this stuff around. New noise OC. This is my new noise OC. My friend Allie knows a lot about oises. If you're watching this, that's not the button to exit on it. This is my new ois. I don't know what to call him. I hope you like him. This also has the TV dialogue and a lot of recreated stuff. That was a big part of Pizza Tower too. A lot of old Pizza Tower modders recreated the game before it came out. I'm not really going to play most of that stuff. I am going to play the new levels, however, that I remember. This was like a remake of the old demo tower levels for what was at the time modern Pizza Tower. And it's really cool dark effect, and also pretty decent level design. Mr. Unknown, I remember him telling me, made most of his level design by just copying chunks of Pizza Tower level design and kind of adding onto it. Which you can see. So a lot of the sprites you see in this, like, I guess for example, like the Peppino Knight jump, the double jump, I'm pretty sure weren't from the source material they were from, and were instead recreated. My friend 902 worked on a lot of Pizza Tower stuff back then, and they did recreations. I remember they recreated all the topping and whatnot. I'm not sure if these toppings are recreations, because I'm pretty sure this version of Demo 3 was way after April build. I think it was around Pizza Tower's September build era. But this was really cool at the time. It was a completely new level. And there were custom levels that existed in Level Editor, but it was cool to see a modded level. Oh, this room. I think I always joke around with Mr. Unknown about this room for some reason. Super Slump 2, because it has these, like, unclimbable walls. I don't know why every Pizza Tower mod had the Sage Demo thing of buying stuff with pizza coins. It never really worked in a game like this. I think this was released around the time that a lot of people fully considered Demo 3 to be better than the full game. Probably around September build era of Pizza Tower then. I remember having a discussion with my friend OSP. He does sprite work for Scout to Go V2. He made all the music for Noise's Halloween Bash, which is incredible. Definitely recommend people check that out if they haven't already. And he does concept work for Sugary Spire. I remember he and I were in a DM being like, "Oh, Pizza Tower is going to shit," and it was when they had released this really old video talking about their end-of-the-year plans for the game, probably around, or right after Pizza Tower's September build era. And that was a big topic of discussion too, because a lot of people did not like the direction the game was going in. Even before any of this, or before that Jay Leno era, there was the Western build era, I guess I would call it. I guess they're not specifically eras, but this is kind of how I remember them. Where people complained that McPig changed the super jump, so they kind of fought for it back, and they just kind of bitched about it. And then eventually, McPig changed the super jump back to being infinite. And then it got to a point where he didn't really do stuff like that anymore, which made sense. A lot of people were very, I'd say, entitled back then. I was one of those kids too. A lot of people would say things like Demo 3 is better than the full game, or "Oh, the person who makes Pizza Tower doesn't listen to us," but it was almost parasocial, because yeah, we were all paying for Pizza Tower, but obviously whatever Torta Pizza chose to do with Pizza Tower was their decision. But a lot of people, I think myself included at some point, loved Demo 3 and would play it more often than we played the actual game. With Demo 3 and a lot of other mods to like escape from how Pizza Tower was at the time, around the September build era. People didn't even get to play that, by the way. It was just streams that people watched and they decided they hated it. Which is really funny in hindsight too. People like, McPig is ruining the game. I remember a lot of people had discussions over, I think, leaving Pizza Tower or the community because of it. And it was like a really massive point of contention, which is really funny looking back at it. I've worked on projects that have had time periods like that. I know Sugary Spire has, where they just haven't been great, where people ask us to bring back things, and I never really understood it. Even if it sucks, sometimes you just gotta feel it out. That's what I think the philosophy of Pizza Tower was anyways, but that's just me. Lava Rotted Temple. Man. This was the fan-made level back then in my mind. A lot of these decorations, my friend on our team made this one. I think, I don't remember. I think someone named, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Bondarak made this one. I think they helped out on Super Bow Noise later down the line. But I think they made this decoration. A lot of these decorations were fan-submitted at the time. And it's always very cool to see. I think my friend Core, he made a really old mod called Open Tower, which was like a Pizza Tower recreation during the September build era. And then he also went on to work on this really cool game called Kira Kira Cat Girl Rampage. I think he also made some decoration in this level that I'll point out once I see it. Oh god, the old-ass bombs. God, this shit sucked. This water also has a good bit of story behind it. After I had gotten to know Mr. Known a good bit, I asked him if he was interested in helping on Sugary Spire. Not because I wanted, like, I guess we needed programming help at the time. I think we did. But it was because I wanted the water from this level in one of the Sugary Spire levels, Molasses Swamp. There's a very old version of that level out there that people can play, in some build archive somewhere, where it has the Lavarada Temple water. And that's because initially I just asked Mr. Unknown, hey, can you just, like, hop on Sugary Spire and port the Lavarada water for me? And he was nice enough to. And then eventually, over time, that just kind of became him working on Sugary Spire. There's course decoration. It's the one with the cheese. Oh god, the fuck-ass water. I remember not too long ago, someone, it might have been me, was playing this in a voice chat, and talking to Mr. Unknown about it, and he said he stole these, the water things from Hydro City. We got in a whole debate about if it was Hydro City or Hydrocity. I think it's Hydrocity. That's just me, though. It's just like the epitome of old Pizza Tower design, too. It's like very puzzly. This is still during the era of Pizza Tower when Noise liked candy, and didn't like pizza. I think he was kind of meant to be the anti-Peppino, or something like that. I don't remember why, but I always thought this bit of level was really cool, where you run through a bunch of things. Like, a bunch of water. I don't know. It was unique. There's like a lot of Pizza Tower mods that I think have tried to do water. My friend Loogie works on a Pizza Tower mod called Sherry's Manor. There's a level in that called Big Fish Small Pond that also has water. The funny thing to me about water in Pizza Tower is that it always works differently in like every mod you play. So in this one it makes you super light. In Sherry's Manor, it kind of makes you heavier, I think. And then obviously, I think the most well-known Pizza Tower fan-made water level is Lake Erie, where Bone Noise floats up, but once it has the fish transfer, they can swim in it, which was always my favorite take on water. That's also kind of what I mean, very vaguely, about this being the primordial soup of Pizza Tower mods. I would argue Lavarada Temple, at the very least, has its roots in Sugary Spire's Molasses Swamp, specifically because of the molasses water, which was eventually changed to just kill you, but at some point it was just going to be this. Pizza Tower is obviously way different than it was back then, but it's very fun to look back on it every so often. I talked to a lot of friends of mine, and some of them don't even know, or didn't even know what Demo 3 was, and I was shocked. It was like one of the biggest things in the Pizza Tower community, me at least. I've always loved this project. I did actually have the chance to work on this. I did a shitty Pineapple Beach level, I guess, recreation or something, where I poured it over from like Pizza Tower's April build and made my own weird version of it. I would play it, but it's broken and unfinished, so it's not really worth showing. Which I'll link the download to Demo 3. If I'm allowed to, I'm sure I am. If anyone wants to play this for themselves and experience what I believe to be probably one of the most foundational Pizza Tower mods. Shoutouts to Mr. Unknown, though, honestly, for making this. Known the guy for years, and it's very cool to see how you could go from some of this to working on various other projects. That's Pizza Tower Demo 3. Love this. Love this mod. Thank you for watching this all the way through if you did. I think a lot of it was just kind of incoherent rambling, and I apologize if the audio balancing was off. I tried to fix it as best I could. But that should really be it. I think that's really all I have to say about Pizza Tower Demo 3. Thank you again for watching this.